Tanuki Wolf here with Firefall. I'm going to go over in this video my build and a couple just quick tips and statements regarding characters and your perks and the battle frames you can choose and what you should level, etc. With the arsenal, it has the particle beam, which does energy damage, and also there is a perk in here called Plasma Enthusiast. It costs 2 points. It requires you to have the Accord Assault, which is the default starting assault battle frame, leveled to 20. It gives you 10% more energy and plasma weapon damage. Now, if you put on or find or purchase a gun that has a prefix like electrical, it changes the damage type from what it would be by default, such as with an LMG, a bullet, into energy. And that means the perk now applies. For my secondary, I use a grenade launcher just for cleaning up large amounts of trash and Aranya just lying around. I run a health battle frame core. This one specifically is a drop from the mission Operation Miru, the damage demolition core. It gives you 50% health bonus, a decent amount of just base health bonus, and grenade damage multiplier, which I don't really use. I'm not sure. Yeah, it only applies to consumable grenades, and I just have never seen a point. That's not to say consumable grenades are useless. For all I know, they are amazing. I just have never wasted my time with them. Combat shotgun. Try and get as, epic, rare, as high as you can get. And blitz, potency, and focus mods. With the combat shotgun, it scales with potency by adding more bullets per trigger pull, rounds per burst. As you can see, I have 24. The reason I don't focus on deployment, which is the amount of shots when I summon the gun, is because there is a frame called a Raptor, and it has an ability called Power Field. For the duration of that ability, you have infinite ammunition. That means if you spec for rounds per burst by using potency mods, while you have infinite ammunition, you get the best bang for your buck. And when you're not using it, if you have a proper primary that is modded out and properly, upgraded, you do more than enough damage so that you wouldn't say, well, I would really like 5 more shots from the shotgun, instead of being super burst damagey when you need it. Particle beam, I'm going to be completely straightforward. It's not that amazing. It's only okay, but I still like to use it just for fun. I know a lot of guys would run turret mode or shielding, even repulsor blast or absorption bomb, I believe is what it's called. Yes, absorption bomb. But, I'm playing an arsenal, use as many arsenal abilities as I can, so particle beam. I like to get it widened with some deployments. You can get Devil's Wide deployment modules from the Warfront at Devil's Tusk. And they increase the AoE and deployment. And as you see, shots, parentheses, max deployments, you get 2 extra shots every time you activate the ability. You start with 3 by default. Potency reduces the time it takes in between shots. And the reason I spec'd for potency instead of something else was because when you enter that 50% critical state from anatomy lessons, I want to get as many shots off with that bonus as I can, because the particle beam doesn't really proc it as, efficiently as, say, a fast LMG or a combat shotgun. So I want to get as many particle beam shots within that 50% bonus window as I can. Explosive rounds, potent. I spec for potency on that with duration and recharge as much as possible. Once again, anatomy lessons, I just want to get as much burst in as I can, and the duration on the explosive rounds is 9.3 0.36 seconds. And if I have a full magazine in my weapon and I just hold down the fire button, last I checked with the previous gun, it didn't have as many upgrades as the current one, but I could fire for around 11 seconds straight. Now, if you have to reload while using this ability, it's pretty much you're wasting seconds. So you want duration to be less than or equal to the amount of time it takes for you to fire off all rounds from a full magazine. Now this takes into account the 11 seconds, the Invigorate perk, which when you use the ability explosive rounds, you get a 15% attack speed bonus. So that increases your fire rate by 15%. Shoulder rockets, just free damage. Throw it on there, use it, you know. Perks. Resilient plating. When below 35% health, the Dreadnought automatically regenerates health, 2% of max health per second. Additionally, always grants 5% damage reduction to the Dreadnought, any squad mates within 100 meters, and any allies within 8 meters. This requires just any Dreadnought, and I'll correct this if I'm wrong, or someone can correct me, at level 10, and it will unlock Resilient Plating. It's an amazing perk, quite frankly. It keeps me alive when otherwise I would be dead. 35% with a health bonus. Core gives you around 20,000 HP to work with. Plasma Enthusiast, straight 10% damage on your primary if it's electrical. Your particle beam, just, you know, all around useful. Kill Sealer. This comes from a level 30 Rhino. It increases damage against critical targets below 50% health by 30%. Just good all around perk. I use it. It's amazing. Get them down and then just finish the job. Invigorate, as I mentioned before, you need the default Accord Assault level 30, 15% movement speed and attack speed. Now, I don't know if this is still the case, but turret mode, when you activate it, would activate Invigorate, and when you leave it, would also activate Invigorate, from what I heard. I just use it for every ability. It's because it activates on every ability, and it is amazing for that reason. Your combat shotgun gets the fire rate bonus. Your primary weapon, when you activate explosive rounds, when you activate your shoulder rockets, your primary goes faster. Activate particle beam. Now, I don't find it immensely useful on particle beam. I don't even know if it affects particle beam properly because of the charge up time before the shots. I haven't done any testing on that. And anatomy lessons. There's a couple choices if you're trying to get a master perk on Arsenal that I find useful. Hunter does a stacking 10% bonus to a maximum of 40% on a single target, but if you hit a different target, you lose the bonus. So I prefer anatomy lessons, and it has a 10% chance to enter critical state for 5 seconds, increasing weapon damage by 50%. Weapon damage for Arsenal is the primary, secondary, combat shotgun, particle beam, explosive rounds because it works off your primary, and I'm almost positive it also affects shoulder rockets. Now, this has no internal cooldown, or the internal cooldown is so short it's almost unnoticeable. It measured within a small, like 250 milliseconds perhaps. You can, if you get lucky, keep this thing running almost the entire time if you're firing your bullets fast enough. Now, more than likely you're going to go through some dry stretches, and then you'll get some chain activations, then you'll get some just activations here and there. The only downside is activating it right before you have to reload or on an empty magazine. But that can be partially counteracted with the combat shotgun and the particle beam, because it replaces your primary and essentially gives you a fresh magazine. So if you proc the 50% damage state, activate your combat shotgun even if your LMG is empty, and you're not wasting it, essentially. But reload often, reload early. And that is my build for the Arsenal. Now, this is a very endgame-ish build, though. It requires you to level multiple frames to 30 or 40. For example, you need 40 Recluse, you need 30 Rhino, you need 30 Assault, you need 20 Assault. And Dreadnought you're going to have by default. So there's multiple ways to get battle frames as well. If you get any battle frame to level 40, you are awarded 10 pilot tokens. You can use these pilot tokens for two purposes. You can spend 10 of them to purchase a battle frame. As you can see, 10 to purchase, 10 to purchase. Or, let me cancel that, you can spend them on purple modules. I don't mean purple as in the slot, I mean in the color. I believe they're referred to as epic in this game. And I believe blue is rare, purple is epic. And these are strong modules. They give high power rating. Level 40 modules. You know, put them in all your gun slots and the gun will become a beast. It's that simple. So, it costs 2 pilot tokens per mod. And you can buy quite a few of them. I use 20 pilot tokens to purchase and put the mods in these 4 guns. I only have 1 purple in my grenade launcher. Now, on the choice of whether or not to spend pilot tokens on the mods or on the battle frames, you're going to be leveling multiple battle frames. That's just the simple facts of the matter. But you need to really consider what frames have perks you need for other frames, what battle frames you're just leveling for perks, what battle frames you're leveling to play, and what battle frames really almost require other battle frames to get their full potential. For example, the Bastion it's just a turret monster. It can put down massive amounts of turrets. But the basic Engineer has a perk that increases turret damage by 20 or 25%. So as you can see, the synergy there is obvious. And you get 10 pilot tokens from getting a Engineer to level 40 that you can then use to unlock the Bastion and take the things you gain from the Engineer to strengthen your Bastion. Once you get the Bastion to level 40, you have a decision to make. You can spend that to just directly unlock a new frame, or you can buy epic modules with it. Now, my thought process on that dilemma is this. A large amount of battle frames use the Accord Assault as a decent building block, because for plasma enthusiasts for lightning weapons and for Invigorate. So if you plan to use those two, you're going to get another frame to level 40, because once it's 30, might as well finish it off, get your pilot tokens. So you basically have from, let's assume you start with a Dreadnought. So you level Dreadnought just to do it. You spend those pilot tokens unlocking the Arsenal. You get Arsenal to 40. Where do you go next? Do you unlock the Recluse? You're gonna, if you want anatomy lessons, you could do that. Or do you spend those modules? Personally, what I did was I unlocked the Recluse with the pilot tokens, got the Recluse to 40, and then spent the Recluse's pilot tokens on modules. And then I got the Accord Assault to 40, and then I spent the Accord Assault's pilot tokens on modules. And that still leaves you the Recon, it leaves you the Biotech, it leaves you the Engineer if you haven't done anything with that, and it leaves you the basic Dreadnought if you, for example, started with Assault, got the pilot tokens, and then unlocked other things. So use your pilot tokens only after you've gotten all the perks you want out of alternate battle frames. And always take those battle frames to 40. Don't stop at 30 and just get your perk. And that is because every battle frame you get to level 40 gives you a 10% experience bonus whenever you level a lower leveled battle frame. So, okay, you've leveled 3 frames, and now you gotta level another one. Well, on your 4th frame, you're getting a 30% experience bonus. VIP is 25% experience bonus, and VIP stacks on top of that level 40 frame bonus. And if you actually look on the battle frame section, there's doing a Mammoth weekend. This free trial lets you play the Mammoth without paying any pilot tokens, without doing any purchasing of it. It is a free trial, and there's a discount if you purchase it with red beans. I believe you can get it for $10 during the free trial in red beans. You can get that to 40. You get to keep those perks and keep those levels, and if I'm not mistaken, you get to keep the 10% experience bonus, and you get your pilot tokens. You can, in 2 or 3 days, you can easily hit, during the course of a free trial, level 40 with that free battleframe. And even if you never intend to play it, you didn't spend anything to unlock it, you didn't waste your pilot tokens unlocking it, and you get pilot tokens for getting it to level 40. Which could let you unlock a different frame you actually do want to play, because, and I'll go over this in a different video, one of the largest flaws, and it's both a strength and a flaw at the same time, is that the game can either be a terrible game not worth your time, or an amazing, just fun experience based on the battle frame you have. Now the problem that you find yourself in when you play this game is, if you don't mesh any of the first 5, the Engineer, Assault, Dreadnought, Biotech, or Recon, you have to suffer through that or pull out your checkbook. And the other problem is, you have no way of knowing, just by watching the videos they provide you on the store page, if the class is actually for you. It doesn't really give you a good idea of what you're actually purchasing. I know I thought I would like the Rhino, you know? I thought it would be right down my alley. I hated it, and by extension I hated the game. I quit playing, and then I got convinced to come back. I spent $60, you know, because I'm like, I'm going to give this game a chance as a full retail game, as if I went into a brick and mortar and bought the box. Spent $60, bought the frame I wanted, the Arsenal, bought some, you know, extra stuff on the side, and it worked out very well for me. I love the game. I was 40 within 3 days, I believe. It was within a couple days span of that. And just, I had a blast. Just an amazing time. It wasn't all good. Don't let me give you that impression. There are some flaws with the game, as with any game, but it was an amazing experience on the whole. I do not regret my purchase at all. Now, we'll get into the cash shop later. We'll get into the free trials. We'll get into various other aspects of the game in other videos as I stumble upon what I actually want to make in regards to that. If you want to see anything specific, if you want to know about specific abilities, specific frames I possess, as you can see on this page, what I have unlocked, what is on free trial. And, well, if you want more videos of specific content, do you want to see me do a thumper? Do you want to see me do a warfront, a raid, a mission, hardcore? You know? Just, you know, say something. Put something in the comments. Let me know. And that is the video for now. I'm going to have a couple more up, maybe a couple thumper gameplays, you know, give you an idea of the Arsenal.